Hello everyone! In this week's video, we are taking a look back at the art I've created during 2022. I did this last year and I thought it was a lot of fun to take a look back at all the art I made, so I wanted to do it again this year. We will be taking a look back at most of the art I made, so this will spoil the videos I made this year. So if there are some videos you don't want spoiled, go watch them and come back to this, I guess. Also, like last year, we won't be looking at every single thing I drew. We will exclude two things, being my sketchbooks and my webcomic. I'm excluding my sketchbooks because I do separate sketchbook tour videos for those. And we are excluding my webcomic because I drew over 350 pages for my comic this year, so it would take ages for me to talk about all of them. But I will dedicate a little section of the video to it later on. Anyways, let's start looking at what I made this year. First, we have this drawing of Mirabelle from Encanto. Back then, I had just recently watched the movie and really wanted to draw her. She's so cute. I really love Encanto. It's a really good movie. Next, we have a concept sketch of my OC Samson. This is when I was first designing him for my visual novel game. These are some simple chibi elf drawings. When I started the year, I had a goal of finishing a digital sketchbook. I was trying to encourage myself to draw more, but let's just say I didn't really stick with it. I think I finished like 6 pages or something. And I had made a total of like 40 pages in the sketchbook. So yeah. This is a room study I did. I was going to add a character, but I got bored. These are from my first video of 2022. I drew myself into Your Lie in April. My roommate is a cat, and Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. I think this one is my favorite out of the styles I drew in. It was a really fun style. Here we have this animation I did of Doris. This was my first time doing a heavy amount of lip syncing in an animation, and I had to use myself as Doris's voice since I didn't have much for another option. Here is the animation with its audio.
Well, hello. My name is Doris Brooks and I moved here from South Dakota. I look forward to getting to know you all.
These are stickers I made for the Patreon mail. Over on Patreon, I have the Patreon Mail Club, and I send prints and stickers to the people in that club. These were for the February mail. I made everything Valentine's Day themed, including this print of Anne and Aiden. I had so much fun drawing them. They are the characters from my first comic, I Want to Be a Magical Girl, so I don't draw them very much now, but they are still my babies. These next drawings are from an I Draw Your OC video. I had some technical issues, so I drew some chibis and one finished illustration, so it was a bit different from usual. This is a picture of Zhongli from Genshin Impact. I was super happy because I had finally gotten him in the game. It took so many wishes, and I had tried to get him before, but I got pity broke by D-Luke, and so yeah, I was really happy when I got him this time. And I really wanted to draw him, and I actually still quite like this illustration. I really like how the coloring and the pose turned out. Before I show these next two illustrations, I want to clarify that these are kind of spoilers if you haven't played my visual novel game. You've been warned. But these are the special illustrations you get to see if you get the perfect endings for Finley and Samson. Speaking of the game, I had to make a ton of art for it. I won't be showing all the different expressions I drew and the backgrounds and stuff. But here's how the game looked when it was all brought together. It was definitely a really interesting experiment, and I hope to maybe do it again early next year around Valentine's Day again, but we'll see. These are from a Drawing Myself into Disney Movies video. This time it was Winnie the Pooh, Phineas and Ferb, and Encanto. Encanto was very tricky since it is a 3D movie instead of 2D. I remember struggling a good amount with this. This was a little illustration for a Sakura co-collaboration. It's me eating some yummy bread. I just threw it together really quick. I drew this as a birthday gift for my sister Reagan. These are her characters Tim and Logan. I drew this traditionally using watercolors, water brush pens, and water-based markers. I really liked getting to use them, and this is one of the few traditional illustrations I finished. A lot of my traditional art this year were just kind of sketches in my sketchbook. Here we have a quick sketch of Finley. I wanted to try drawing him in casual clothes, but when I was thinking about it, he seems like the type to always dress fancy, except for maybe like pajamas or loungewear. Because he's kind of uptight, so I imagine he'd always be wearing something kind of maybe semi-casual or a little bit more on the dressy up side. These are chibi versions of Finn and Sam. I still really like these. I think they're really cute and they look so tiny. I really liked working on these next two. I was redrawing video game scenes in my style. I was kind of sad the video didn't perform very well because I had a ton of fun with the concept for this video. I don't know, maybe I'll try doing it again in the future, but it didn't seem to be that popular with the viewers. This is an illustration of my fairy-like characters, Pariah and Carson, along with Mr. Froggy. I think I drew this for a tablet review video if I remember right. This is still one of my favorite illustrations of 2022. I think it's just because it features my characters and I really liked how the coloring turned out. And yeah, I really like drawing Pariah and Carson. This animation is one you see very often if you stay till the end of my videos. I wanted to make my outro screen more fun, so I made this animation of me falling over and waving goodbye. I had a lot of fun experimenting with the movements and trying to convey them. A lot of times I'm drawing myself in an anime, but this time I was drawing my OCs. Here we have Chase in Prince of Tennis, Brayson in Anonymous Noise, and Aiden in My Hero Academia. Many of you were requesting for one of my characters to be in that. Next are some derpy TikTok animation things I made. I didn't want to get copyrighted on YouTube, so I had to recreate the audio myself, which I still kind of cringe at, but here it is anyways. Something comes to tip you off your stool. Hello, 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 hello. My, what have we here? What's that? Sorry, I just thought somebody that was above the national average height said something. You're a disgusting, tall man. Shrink, perhaps. We could be friends then. I also wanted to draw a Samson in casual clothes. This is also one of my favorite drawings of 2022. I don't know, it's really simple and kind of sketchy, but there's something about it that I really like. I love how this picture is like the opposite of the last one. But this is Ayato from Genshin Impact. I really liked his design and wanted to try drawing him. And this was kind of inspired by his character trailer thing. But yeah, he's a cool character. These next four are from an I Draw Your OC video. I kept these ones pretty simple so I could include more characters. But as a result, I don't totally love any of these drawings. I don't know, they're all okay and I like them, but I don't love any of them. They all feel just kinda okay, I guess. The art for that video was kinda quantity over quality. Next up are the characters I drew for the 6-character fan art challenge. We have Anya, Venti, Dolores, Oliver, Hinata, and Yuseda. I think my favorites for how they turned out are Anya and Venti. I'm still quite pleased with these two. These are some stickers I made for the Patreon Mail Club. I took some sketches from my sketchbook and turned them into stickers. I actually really like to make stickers this way. It's a really fun way to do it. This was just another little sketch for a tablet review. I don't really remember it all that much. And this was for a TikTok challenge. You draw one side in your style and the other side in a more realistic way. I still don't really like this one. I also did a challenge where you draw your OC normal, gender bent, as a child, as royalty, and as a villain. I think my favorite is the royalty one. Annabelle looks so fancy. This was for a Design Your Fairy challenge. And because of the challenge, I ended up with Silva here. I actually really like how she turned out, and if I do ever make Pariah's story, I want to include her. Next, I drew myself into some of my favorite webtoons, including Unordinary, True Beauty, The Last Dimension, and Space Boy. These were some chibis I drew for testing out an app that animates your characters automatically, and the results were very interesting to say the least. I still really like these two illustrations. They were from an I Draw Your Gacha character video, and they were the first fully rendered illustrations I had done in a while. I still really like how the shading turned out on them. This was a design for a notebook cover. I was hoping to sell the notebooks last year, but sadly never got around to it. Maybe I will in 2023. I'm getting a bit tired of them taking up my closet space. So maybe I need to set up an online shop or something. I was doing another character challenge from TikTok and I ended up creating Chip. I decided he's Silva's royal guard. Silva's very small next to him. I had to create this illustration based off of 3 emojis. I got a dying rose, mind blown, and a green heart. So I ended up with this robot dude. This was for a challenge where I had to color a picture while my screen was set to grayscale. I got the color surprisingly close. Some people accused me of cheating, but I promise I did not, because that would ruin the fun. Also, I made this version just because I really wanted to. These were some muscle and pose studies I did. I still really want to do this method of studying poses again. It was really helpful. I did one just by looking at the reference. One is a trace over the reference. Then I try to copy the trace over. Then I try to draw the pose from memory. And yeah, I just felt like it was a really good way to study a pose. It helps you get a good grasp on the shapes and how things appear. Next we have an illustration of Doris. I don't draw fully finished illustrations of her very often, so this was really fun. I didn't notice till now how much animating I did this year. For this, instead of drawing myself, I tried to animate myself into a scene. This one is from Pretty Cure, and this next one is from Haikyuu. If you want to watch these with the audio, you can go check out the original video. I'm always scared of automatic copyright claims, so I try to avoid using the audio as much as I can. But yeah, you can check out that video if you want to see it. Here we have another sticker for the Patreon Mail Club. This is also from my sketchbook, and I mostly used watercolors, since my current sketchbook is a watercolor sketchbook. This was from a collaboration with the game Lively Island. It's a really cute game, and I kind of tried to copy the art style. I played it for a decent amount of time, but got busy, so all my Livelies are now neglected, my poor babies. But it is a really cute game, and I did enjoy it. I did a collaboration with my sister where I have to redraw her picture from description only. It was a lot of fun, but I didn't get very close this time around. If you want to see Reagan's drawings, you can check out the video. I won't spoil everything for you. This chibi pariah was drawn as a wooden pin design, and I turned it into enamel pins as well, along with Owen. Once again, I hope to sell these possibly. They are also taking up closet space. Next, we have the creation of my characters Candace and Sullivan. I made a random character generator and tried to create characters with the generated characteristics. This was a lot of fun to do, and I ended up with very different characters from my usual. Like, I got this wild child that lives in the forest. Oh, I also tried testing this thing where I drew a character into a photo from real life. It was a fun test, and I kind of want to try doing it again with my own pictures. This is a quick sketch of Link. I think I was in a mood, so I drew him. He's kind of my comfort character, and if I'm feeling moody, I often end up drawing him. These next three are from an I Draw Your OC video. I'm pretty pleased with all of these, but I think this one with the landscape is my favorite, just because it's kind of different from my usual stuff, and I really liked working on the pine trees. Like I said, we won't be going through all the panels and pages I made for my webcomic, but I do want to feature it a bit since it is where a lot of my drawing time goes. In 2022, I published 6 chapters, have finished 7, and I'm about halfway through the 8th chapter. I give myself a 1 chapter buffer, so I won't post the 7th chapter until I finish the 8th. But the 8th chapter is a very long one, so I do apologize for the delay and the wait. Thank you for your patience. I was a little disappointed at first that I had only completed 7 chapters. My goal is usually to finish 1 chapter a month, so technically I should have 12 chapters. But my chapters have gotten longer, like nearly twice as long as the early chapters. Plus, like I mentioned, I'm trying to not overwork my arm. So if there are days where I have to draw a lot for YouTube, I don't work on my webcomic. But when I tallied how many pages I completed, I wasn't as disappointed. I finished a little over 350 pages, so that's nearly a page a day, and that's kind of my goal. So I did my best, or as much as I felt like I could without overworking myself. Plus, as we are moving into the final chapters, I'm wanting to spend more time on them to give this project I've been working on for so long an ending I'm happy with. But yeah, there were a lot of panels and pages drawn this year. This was when I felt like it was time to update my profile picture. I do like this updated version. I still kind of slightly question if I like the pink background I used for my icon version. Sometimes I think about changing it back to the Argyle, but the pink does stand out more. But yeah, I always kind of go back and forth on it. But I don't want to change my icon a whole bunch. Here's another sticker for the Patreon mail. This time it's a watercolor sketch of Samson. I really like his casual outfit, so I tend to draw him in the casual outfit more than his actual outfit. I did this sketch really quick to test out the right borrow pen. It's now my favorite pen to use for digital sketching. This was for a challenge where you take your favorite song and turn it into an art piece. I chose the song Ode to the Stars. It's a really pretty song. This was another challenge where I used random colors and I don't know what they are. I was also drawing Doris wearing the same outfit as me. It was pretty fun trying to draw her in the outfit I was wearing. And this was for a challenge where you draw with the selection tool. I drew Miku with cinnamon roll. It was all over the internet at the time and it was so cute, so I really wanted to draw it. Next, I was turning myself into game characters. We have Gotcha Club, Hollow Knight. I love Hollow Knight, it's so good. And Pokemon. I actually started playing Scarlet recently and I was able to find Wooper and Smoliv. And of course I picked Quaxley, so now I have all the Pokemon I wanted. Now I just need to decide who I want in the other slots. This was a drawing of Raylan. If I remember right, someone made fan art for her and it made me really want to draw her again. I also made this other version for a video. I felt really sentimental when I saw this picture because it was greatly inspired by my first date with my boyfriend when I went to the zoo. These were both from an I Draw Your Gacha character video. I still really like this picture as well. There are little things I can see that I want to fix now, but overall I still really like it. Here we have another sticker from Patreon. This one ended up looking kind of like Faith and I did not intend for it to be, but now I'm just like, yeah, it's Faith. This is another animation. This time I'm in My Neighbor Totoro. This one was very challenging and took me a good amount of time. I'm not really happy with this animation, but it was good practice. Next are some art pieces from a Drawing Whatever the Heck I Want video. The TV sketch is my favorite, I think. It was a lot of fun to create, but drawing Fry, Shiver, and Big Man was also fun. The challenge for this one was interesting. I had to color the picture with my screen colors inverted. It was a neat experiment, but it really hurt my eyes after a while. Here's another sticker. This time it's of Sullivan. This was also a sketch from my sketchbook, and I did show it in a video. This is one of my favorite stickers. I really like this one. This was actually an unused sketch from this video. I didn't have enough time to finish the 3 I had planned to do. Plus, I didn't really like this one. Speaking of that video, here are the other 2 pieces that I did finish. I tried a more painty style for them, and it was a lot of fun. The purple guy's hair gave me a lot of trouble, but I do like it. This was a drawing for a tablet review, I think. Yep, it is. Here is also the quick link sketch I did in it. I was happy to get to draw Gwendolyn again. I don't draw her very often. Some more anime drawings. This time I'm in Kobato, Words Bubble Up Like Soda Pop, and Spy Family. I think the one I had the most fun with was Words Bubble Up Like Soda Pop because the style is really unique. I was turning myself into video game characters again. This time it was The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker, Cookie Run Kingdom, and Undertale. Also, I beat my pacifist run of Undertale and it was a really fun game to play. I'm trying to do a genocide run, but it's so hard and I'm stuck at Sans. And I don't think I can beat him, it's so tough. I even watched some tutorials and everything. We have some more gacha characters. I pushed myself to draw a more complicated pose, and it was challenging but also good practice. Drawing this character was really neat. I liked working with a different mood. Here we have some fashion studies featuring my girl babies. I want to do more of these with some of my other characters. It was a great way to practice and draw my characters at the same time. This was a pose study I did of Link. I was mostly practicing the foreshortening. It's still something I find to be tricky, so I'm trying to practice it more. Oh, here's the chibi version of my boyfriend. I really liked drawing this. I think it's the first time I've drawn a chibi version of someone outside my family. So these next 2 pictures I kind of drew but kind of didn't. This was a collab with my sister and we had to keep swapping back and forth. So we both drew both pictures. It was very interesting to do and we got some neat results, I think. Once again, drawing myself into Disney movies. This time it was Lilo and Stitch, Tangled the series, and Beauty and the Beast. The Tangled one was my favorite to work on, but that may just be because I love Tangled. I got the art book for Christmas and it's so neat. Plus the art style for the show is really unique. Oh, here we have a special illustration I did for my Patreon meal. I wanted it to be Christmas themed and featuring my characters. At first I was going to draw characters for my webcomic, but then I got an idea to feature Candy and Sully, and it seemed so cute when I thought of it, so I went with this idea. I love Sully's little amazed face. This was a sketch of Doris for a tablet review. I didn't notice how many tablet reviews I did until now. I even turned down a lot of companies just because I felt like I couldn't keep up with the workload. We are getting very close to the end here. These were from my anti-style video. I really enjoyed making the art and experimenting with a style opposite to mine. Like I've said, I kind of want to try to develop the style more, especially the rendering of it. I was doing some work and was listening to music on YouTube, and well, the Hollow Knight soundtrack autoplayed and a wave of wanting to play Hollow Knight washed over me, but I needed to work, so I opted to just do some quick doodles. I love Hollow Knight, it's such a great game. I can't wait for Silk Song, I'm like super hyped for it. And last but not least, we have the 2 illustrations I created in my last video. I really like how both turned out. They have very different vibes. But I may like this one just a bit more. It's very me. But I did have a lot of fun drawing in my semi-realistic style again. Also, random tangent, sometimes I wonder how many eyes I've drawn over all the time that I've been drawing. Just counting the eyes I see in this video and not really counting animation frames, we have over 350 eyes. I was kind of starting to lose count. So yeah, that's a lot of eyes. And once again, not counting my sketchbook or my webcomic. Well, that is my art summary for 2022. It was great to take a look back on what kind of art I made this year, and I hope you enjoyed looking through it with me. Also, a little reminder, I'm going on my January break for a few weeks, and I plan to be back with a new video on January 21st. Thank you so much for watching my videos and for being a part of my journey. I hope to continue this journey with all of you in 2023. Thank you so much for watching, and Happy New Year's Eve. See you in a few weeks. Bye!